By and by, the spark grew into a flame and the bonfire burned brightly. برضه هون, by the way, عندنا personification نوعا ما. Because can a spark grow? Grow زي ينمو, yes. So, spark شرارة. So, by and by, the spark grew into a flame. يعني الشرارة صارت نار بالمعنى. And the bonfire burned brightly. Yani, what does it mean when I say the bonfire burned brightly? The bonfire burned brightly. ضوت brightly, ضوء كتير brightly. منورة. Rayan, please. خلص.
خلاص انت نص اليمين ولا اليسار؟
لا شو نص اليمين واليسار. Go ahead, Rayan.
بين اي يمين
من هنا bring more wood.
قول ليش كويس يصير؟ انا اسمع بدور على الصغير هناك. Bring more.
Bring
more wood.
Cried. Cried, yes. But sometimes cry مش شرط بكاء. If I cry out, زي أصوت.
Cried
flying.
Fish. The fish
gathered.
Wood and blades of light.
Piled.
It's woven
upon
the fire, the red flames.
Yes. Roared and roared and sputtered and crackled.
And
crackled.
We shall soon be well. Now, said Finman.
Good.
Then the fish crowded around the fire cluster and
closer and closer. Suddenly.
A blast of wind swept across the cliff from the direction of the land and blew the fire toward the fire.
Fish. Very good. Thank you, Rayan. Bring more wood, cried Flying Fish. The fish gathered wood and piled it upon the fire. Gathered meaning لموا. They gathered things. زي مثلا when you have a gathering at home إنه لمة. And piled it upon the fire. When you pile things up, مثلا أجي أحط هاد وأحط هاد فوق وأحط هاد فوق. I'm piling things up. بالعربي ما بعرف. زي فوق بعض. Piled up يعني فوق بعض. حتى هون we have piled it upon the fire. اطلعوا upon اسموها up on the fire. فوق النار. The red flames roared and sputtered and crackled. Here we are describing أهلا وسهلا. So roared and sputtered and crackled, we are describing what's happening with the fire. كان عندي طول هالوقت ريموت الاي سي وانا مش عارفه. يا اهلا وسهلا. Roared and sputtered and crackled, we're describing what's happening to the fire. عم نوصف ايش بيصير بالنار. So آخر جملة where؟ هينا بدنا نفصلهم. So roared مثل ما اللاين it roars. هلا أكيد الفاير it doesn't actually roar ما بيطلع صوت الروار بس قصدنا إيش roar هبت النار. Roared and sputtered. When a fire sputters, it kind of عرفتوا زي شرار عم بيطلع أصوات عم بيطلع النار مش ثابت بالمعنى. And crackled. Have you guys ever heard a fire crackle?
Yeah, sure.
What sound does it make? Something like this.
Yeah.
Similar, give or take.
Is it too much to teach them onomatopoeia?
I try. Go ahead.
Well, I always give the example of a popular thing in Arabic culture, what we call ululate.
Oh, زي lulu.
So you've got things like ululate, or like when a bell rings, or maybe a fly or a bee buzzes, or fire crackles, or maybe a paper crackles.
تذكروا لما حكينا مثلا كلمة boom, bam أو تذكروا وقت قصة the rice bowl wishes تذكرتوه مش لما الصحن وقعت عملت زي شيء زي كتشينك الصحن هدول onomatopoeias اللي بيحكي عنهم دكتور روبرت.
Big complicated word, but it's simple.
It's a fun word. Onomatopoeia. Say that 10 times fast.
There's a song by Todd Rundgren.
I've never
from
heard it.
the middle 70s, I think, maybe. One of our English teachers brought that into us back in the day, like 10th graders, and explaining the idea. It's a fun song to claim.
I'll look for the link during the break. We shall soon be warm now, said Finfin. Then the fish crowded around the fire, closer and closer. قربوا من كلمة close, closer. Suddenly, a blast of wind swept across the cliff from the direction of the land and blew the fire towards the fish. What happens to fire when wind comes? Yes, بس مش شرط تكنسي الأرض swept. Swept can also mean if a fire sweeps towards you. إيش يعني اتجاهك أجت. إيش بيصير بالنار لما يجي هوا؟ تتحرك. So a blast of wind came, a blast meaning a blast, sudden wind. It came, and what happened? The fire was swept towards the fish. Very good. Would one of Dr. Roberts' students like to show off and read?
Most of them are my students.
Miad? Go ahead.
They sprang to a back for eating that they were on the edge of the cliff and down and down. When the when the hawkish
tried. معقول نحط صغير؟ tried مثل عشيرة.
Tried to the bottom of the sea. The water filled the floor, for the strong wind had driven the fire down below two. There indeed was the bonfire at the bottom of the sea, burning as brightly as ever.
Very good, Mi'ad. Thank you. They sprang back. And we talked about the word spring, what the gladiator's son. ذكرتوه? When Marco sprang to his feet. Now, they sprang back. يعني مشوا شوي شوي. أيوة زي نفدوا نطوا لورا. They sprang back, forgetting that they were on the edge of the cliff. Where were they standing on the cliff? Very good. And down, down, down went the whole fish tribe to the bottom of the sea. The water felt warm, for the strong wind had driven the fire down below too. إيش نزل معهم؟ النار. There indeed was the bonfire at the bottom of the sea, burning as brightly as ever. هلا طفت النار؟ النار طفت؟ لما صار بالمي؟ زي ما هو burning as brightly as ever. زي قبله أكتر. As brightly as ever زي قبله أكتر كان يضوي. online ختامها مسك. مين حابب يشارك؟
can I اليوم حصة الأسد للجماعة اللي عندك إحنا الأونلاين لا.
Go ahead.
Thank you. More wonderful said the fire never went out like fires do on land. The water at the bottom of the sea has been warm ever since that day. That is why on frosty days the fish disappear from the surface of the water. They dive to the bottom of the sea, where they can keep warm and comfortable around the magic bonfire. At last, this is what some people say.
Least. Very good, thank you, Dot. More wonderful still, the fire never went out like fires do on land. The water at the bottom of the sea has been warm ever since that day. Adam, النار عمره طفى وهو تحت المي؟ النار اللي وقع معهم بطفي؟ Never. مكتوب. The fire never went out like fires do on land. The water at the bottom of the sea has been warmed ever since that day. We said warm بمعنى دفى, دافي. That is why on frosty days, what do you guys think frosty means? It's the opposite of day. If we're going to say it's the opposite of a warm day, a frosty day. بارد زي سقية, yes. On frosty days, the fish disappear بيختفوا from the surface of the water. They dive to the bottom of the sea where they can keep warm and comfortable around the magic bonfire. بينزلوا وين؟ عمركم شفتوا سمكة على سطح المي بالشتاء؟ No. وين؟ عشان تكونوا تحت عند النار. They dive to the bottom of the sea. Dive meaning بيغوصوا. At least this is what some people say. هلا بننهيها هيك القصة. At least this is what some people say. هيك الناس بيقولوا. مثل لما امكم تقول لكم قصة وانتم صغار كان يا مكان في قديم هيك كانوا يقولوا زمان. كما تحكي الخرافة. At least this is what some people say. So, how do you think Fin became leader of the fish? He was the leader of the fish. هو اللي كان يتحكم فيهم اعملوا روحوا سووا. صح؟
The black rock.
He went to the very top of the black rock, but I don't think that's the reason per se. لو نرجع لبداية القصة. هلا flying fish اللي عمل الماجيك. من بداية القصة فين is the leader. يعني هم ما أعطونا السبب بالضبط بس what can we assume or infer on our own؟ إيش قلنا what does it mean to infer something؟ إيش قلنا هالشي؟ infer مش يركع infer. هلا when I infer something يعني مثل I'm making an educated guess or assumption based on the information I have. حسب إيش المعلومات اللي أنا عندي إياهم أنا فيني أقول ممكن عشان هيك. هلا فين من اول القصه مش هو he's being bossy اعملوا سووا روحوا صح؟ يعني شخصيته ضعيفه؟ Does he have a weak personality? Then what is Fin? He has a strong personality and he's giving orders. Go ahead.
I don't know. Wasp.
واسطة. والله ممكن Fin عنده واسطة. I'm going to accept this as an answer. واسطة. ممكن واسطة برضه شخصيته قوية Fin. He's got a strong personality and he's giving orders from the very beginning. He told the fish dance. تذكروا حكى لهم ارقصوا لي. And then he said, okay, you can stop dancing now. I'm done sliding. You don't need to keep dancing for me. تذكروا مش هو هيك على الكبسة. إيش ما هو بيحكي whatever Fin says, the fish do. So Fin has a strong personality. Now, why do all the fish crowd around Flying Fish? Who was Flying Fish, by the way?
The father.
The father, yes. What did he do? أي واحد Flying Fish? He did the little magic trick. He with his fin ورجع ولع النار.
Yes.
So why do all the fish crowd around Flying Fish? To see him do what? To see him do the magic, you know, little magic trick where he lights the fire. And also there's another reason to see what he's doing. And there's another reason. We said it was cold, right?
Yeah.
So why are they crowding around Flying Fish and his fire?
To be warm.
To be warm, yes, to get warm. So what does the word feeble mean when it says a feeble red glow could be seen in the ashes? حكينا كلمة feeble. Like weak. هلا جوا الashes جوا الرماد. بس لما نحكي a feeble red glow could be seen in the ashes. قلنا red glow, is it bright or is it weak? أيوة هيك إشي صغير جمرة. Because it's a feeble red glow. It's not bright. It is weak. It's small. You can... أيوة خفيفة. Feeble. قلنا feeble بهذا context it would mean dim essentially. In other context مثلا لو قلت عن فلان feeble, I'm saying that this person is weak. You know ما فيهم حيل. They're feeble. Oh, okay. And here, Fin became the leader of the fish because he told the others what they needed to do. مثل ما قلنا مش واسطة طلعت الموضوع. هلا للمرة الجاي قد ايه الساعة هلا؟ أتوقع تعرفوا الشغلة بلا أتوقع بنلحق ناخذ بداياته. طلابي القدام متذكرين basic sentence construction؟ مين يطلع يشرح؟ Subject, verb, object, yes. We also talked about other things. What did we talk about, Lima?
لازم تكون إلها يعني
امشي لك بالسلايدز تشرحي؟ Go ahead.
يلا بس.
اولا عرفي لنا what is a subject, what is a verb, what is an object.
Okay, subject who do the verb, who do the action.
The person or thing doing the action would be our
Yes.
subject.
Maybe he, she, it, they. Yeah, أحمد هما.
Ahmed Zuma.
And then the action.
The action,
The
yes.
action and the object هو إيش بسموه؟ المفروض. بعرفه بالعادة المفروض.
Luma, did you receive my text the other day? Object يعني ايش؟ اللي they receive the action.
وصل الفعل.
أيوة المفعول به. The thing or person receiving the action is our object.
What if the verb isn't an action? Like the verb be.
Yeah. مش
الverb be شو محدد. الverb be شو محدد.
معناها يكون. زي لما أحكي I am in a building. يعني أنا في.
So where's the option?
لا مثلا I am أحمد no قص أعرف.
حكينا عن الظرف تذكري states of being. I am on holiday on a state of being verb. مثلا لما قلنا ليان was at the party.
Yeah. And was at the party is object.
ليش اعتبرنا الverb وقته؟
Was
why?
because he
because she was at the party.
Yeah.
وجودها at the party. Very good. بالاشياء. She's at the party.
It's a little tricky, right?
So we talked about subject اللي هو قلنا جماعة online سامعين. Subject فاعل, verb فعل, object مفعول به. And we have our examples here. I want to play. I would be our subject. He needs to practice more. He would be our subject. We will have pizza for dinner. We would be our subject. And then some indefinite and negative pronouns such as someone, somebody, something, everyone, everybody, everything, no one, nobody, nothing. هدول برضه فينا نعتبرهم subject. For example, someone left their coat here. Someone would be someone. Our subject. Someone's our subject. Everybody wanted a slice of pie. Adam, when is subject هنا? Everybody wanted a slice of pie. Everybody. Rayan, last one. No one came to my party. No one. مرة جاي بدي أشيل لكم الخطوط من تحت الكلمة. So we have our verb or our predicate. The predicate goes right after the subject and it is expressed by a verb and conveys information about what the subject is doing. A predicate is a key part of constructing sentences in English because it shows when the action occurred, is happening, or will happening. Or will happening, will happen. And we can have two verbs in the predicate, مش شرط بس the main verb. We can also have our helping verb along with it. For example, here, I am waiting. Waiting would be our main verb. What would be am? Auxiliary verb, our helping verb here. Then we have our object finally. It indicates the person or thing to which the action is directed. يعني المفعول به, our object. For example, Cindy brought a present. So where's our object? Present. So a direct object is what or to whom the action of the verb is directed. In other words, a word that receives the action. مثل هون Cindy brought a present. بس بحال مثلا عندي direct و indirect object.
Direct and what?
Indirect. شو بدي أنا؟ بدي سلامة خير.
شو بدك نبينهم؟
لو هلا بدي اعطيكم example، اولا خلينا نحكي عنه وبدي اياك بالضبط تحكي لي شو بدي بس اعطيك example. So an indirect object indicates someone or something to whom the direct object is related. قلنا ايش قبل هيك؟ قلنا direct object بيوقف لحاله indirect object بيعتمد على direct object.
مثلا he ran very quickly.
لا هيك this is لا هون مش indirect object، هون انت اعطيتيني adverb. هون انت وصفتي لي كيف الاكشن صارت.
يعني صفة بتعتمد على الصفة الأولى يعني زي
مش بالضبط هيك، هلا مع example بتصير أوضح. So usually it is a person or an animal expressed by a noun, pronoun, or phrase with dependent words. If there are two objects in a sentence, عندنا اثنين بنفس الجملة، عندنا direct وعندنا indirect, there are two ways you can structure them. في زي مثل الرياضيات في formula بدكم تمشوا عليه، برضه هون في formula بدنا نمشي عليه. If there is an indirect object without a preposition in a sentence, a direct object should come after it. For example, Cindy gave me a present. Cindy gave me would be my indirect object, Bella preposition. A present would be my direct object. However, a direct object should come before an indirect object بحال عندنا preposition to or for. For example, Cindy brought a present, هاي direct object, for me, عندنا preposition for, فبالتالي حطينا indirect object بعد. Me indirect object مع preposition for. لو افترضنا انه الجملة الأساسي Cindy brought a present وقفناها هيك. هلا عند direct object أنا فيني أوقف، مثلا هون فيني أوقف الجملة أنهيها. Cindy brought a present. That's it. Everyone can go home. انتهينا. بس هون قبل Cindy gave me a present. فيني أوقفه هون. Cindy gave me. Why not? What did Cindy give me? فوين بدنا نكملها؟ بدنا نعطي direct object a present. بدنا نكملها مثل ما قلنا indirect object بيعتمد على direct object. هلا هون direct object ما بيعتمد على حدا، هو حر. Cindy present بدي هون يلا الكل روح الحياة حلوة. أنا حبيت إيش أزيد لكم معلومة لمين البريزنت for me. وهون عندنا our preposition for، فبالتالي indirect object أجا بعد direct object. لو مثلا قلت لكم Russia told a story مثلا Russia told a story، كيف ممكن تصيغوا لي إياه مع indirect object؟ لو بدي أضيف indirect object.
Russia told a story to children.
Russia told a story to the children. هون بحال ما عندنا preposition فإيش؟ قصدي بلا بحال عندنا preposition فإيش مجرد ضفنا على الجملة الأساسي تاعتنا أعطينا information زيادة to the children وعندنا preposition to. قلنا يا for يا to، هون استخدمنا to. طب لو بدي أصيغه من دون preposition إنه رشا بس حكت لي أنا القصة. Russia told me a story. هون ايش صفت؟ عندنا رشا or subject, verb, indirect, direct object. Russia told me a story. في حال ما عندنا preposition indirect بعدين direct. بحال عندنا preposition direct بعدين indirect بنعكسها. How do we structure basic English sentences? It is important to note that sentences in English can be classified by their functions, or we can classify them based on their structure. تتذكروا? Do we remember? Adam, do you remember? Adam, أنت باقي تركز معي بشي محاضرة قبل هيك؟ لما تعطينا السمري على السريع؟ عشان مش رح نقدر نفوت details اليوم المحاضرة شبه خلصت لأنه كيف how do we classify our sentences؟
إنه ممكن نعمل سؤال وممكن نعملها جواب وممكن سؤال ونفي.
هلا لو جيت قلت لك لما what time is it؟ هذا إيش؟ So interrogative, right?
Yeah.
What if I said
I don't like answer. Negative. لا. She doesn't play.
she doesn't play football? Negative بس negative what? Negative إيش؟ ما بزبط negative لحال. إنه عندنا إيش؟ هون we have our functions فهو negative شو؟
Negative sentence.
هلا مش negative لحال. There was a statement here, right?
And what?
Dr. Robert, do you know the answer? تغششهم, help them cheat.
I'm not.
كيف يعني؟
Oh, I wasn't in the part. ما كنتش موجودة. No. I wasn't in the part.
I was at the party. تمام, negative what? You're making a declaration, aren't you? هو negative إيش؟ لا ما عندنا complex complex compound هلا. خليكي هون فوق.
The only sentence that's negative and nothing else is just one word.
No.
No. That's the only sentence that's just negative and nothing else.
هلا في negative interrogative في قبل الله. فهذا negative ايش؟ لما انا اعطيكي statement انا ما عم بسألك سؤال، انا ما عم بصرخ فيكي لا don't touch the fire. ايش عم بحكي لك؟ You know it. والله you know it. أنا متأكدة إنك بتعرفي عشان هيك عم بشد عليكي. لما إلك homework بس إلك هذا الhomework هالمرة عشان المحاضرة انتهت اليوم. لما بدك تحكي لي negative إيش؟ المحاضرة الجاي هذا الhomework تاعتك negative إيش؟ صوري لي هذا السلايد تذكريه منيح. بدك تيجي تحكي لي negative إيش هذا السنتنس. اوكي هذا homework إلك انت. تمام اونلاين على السريع اخذ حضور وغياب. دعاء انت قرأتي you're here. حمزة الهدبان.
حمزة الهدبان.
اهلا.
اهلين.
نغم صلحية.
Yes.
محمد الجمال.
نعم.
راح ابعث لكم هدول السلايدز وراح نكمل عليهم المرة الجاية، اوكي؟ يعطيكم الف عافية.
الله يعافيك.
الله يعافيك.
الله يعافيك.
يعطيكم العافية.